Welcome to the UNEP's talk session at SDG Global Festival of Action from Japan. In this session, we discuss on what we can do in our daily lives to fight against climate change through waste and resource recycling. We will also think about how we can achieve SDG12. So my name is Akari. I'm a localization editor at BuzzFeed Japan, sharing news, trends, and news values, of course, including sustainability, from our international editions to our Japanese audience. I will be moderator for today's talk session to help inspiring individuals in the world from Japan. So for those who are watching at home, you can join the conversation on Twitter by using the hashtag #TurnItAround. So today we have invited speakers from Japan, Malaysia, and India who are working on various fields related to the environment. So let me introduce our speakers today. So first we have Honda from UNEP.
Thank you, Akari. Hi, everyone. This is Honda speaking from the United Nations Environment Program. So I'm glad to join this talk. Thank you. Over to Akari.
Thank you. Now we have Josephine Tan from Penang Green Council.
Thank you, Akari. Good afternoon, everybody. And I'm Josephine from Penang Green Council.
Thank you. So now we have Aditi Ramola from International Solid Waste Association.
Thank you, Akari-san. Hello, everyone. My name is Aditi Ramola. I lead the technical department at the International Solid Waste Association. I'm currently based in Bangalore, India, and it's really nice to be talking to you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we have Mr. Kosaka Daimao.
Hello, everyone in the world.
My name is Daimao Kosaka. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm at my home, so from Tokyo. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. So now we have Risako.
Nice to meet you. My name is Risako Tanabe. So usually my job is fitness trainer. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for joining everyone today. So what do you think of this unique combination, Mr. Kosaka?
Yes, definitely. So that it is a demonstration of the SDGs is a wide range of the topics that covers the geography, demography, and the regions. So that is the theme of the nobody is left behind. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have everyone as well. So thank you so much. So now, Mr. Honda, why is it important to talk about this topic now?
Yeah, Akari, thank you. So our theme today is achieving SDG 12, thinking about our future through waste. Because of human behaviors in the past 250 years, we unfortunately cause various environmental pollutions, such as climate change, plastic issues, and waste issues. While the global community aims at carbon neutralization by 2050, what should we do in our daily lives? So we need to use a lot of products which finally become waste. Everyone generates waste every day, so I think that we should do something on waste in our daily lives. So keywords today include waste, recycling, circularity, sustainability, and quality of life to talk on our theme. So thinking about our future through waste. Transforming consumer society into circularity, so to speak. So let's talk about how we can change our lives on circularity and sustainability to combat climate change. Over to Akari.
Thank you so much. So you mentioned the key phrase, transforming consumer society into a recycling-oriented society. So the question here is that, are there any specific things that you do as a part of your profession or in your daily life to promote recycling? So let's start with Josephine.
Thank you, Akari. Basically, in Malaysia, because I'm from Malaysia, and then Penang is one of the state in Malaysia. So Penang Green Council we have designed specially for a lot of educational awareness and outreach programs. So which is also according to our Penang 2030 blueprint. So, and we focus to achieve a family-focused, green and smart state that inspires the nations. So as our outreach programs, we have specifically designed in different age range of participants. So we have eco talks, we have sandbang sessions that we call it, and then it's designed for kindergarten students up to adults. So for example, environmental educations, we have webinar sessions, and we have awards and incentive. We have Penang Green School, we have Penang Green Kindy, and Penang Green Journalism, Green Event Incentive, and also we have a lot of trainings, especially on leadership and learning empowerment that designed for the adults, and also training of trainers program. And we also promote on zero waste network, basically. So the main themes that we focus has always been waste, water, energy, that always we will set up a message that asks ourselves 4W and 1H. Why, where, who, when, and how that we are going to deliver. So because we believe that we have to know the reasons and the cause that able for us to relate it back to themselves, and then finally we can make some changes. So we believe that starting young is very important. That's why we are having some Penang Green School, Green Kindy that encourage our young students to look into recycling, 3 R's that we usually talk about. And then for now, we are focusing on reducing the waste. So we have to know how to differentiate between the needs and wants. So we were through a lot of programs and the sessions together with our children, and then we believe the power of influence. So the children will go bring it back for all the knowledge, and then will share and change the attitude of the parents in the house. Then soon they will change the whole society mindset. Thank you, Akari.
Thank you so much. It's really amazing to hear what kind of things they are doing in the local level. Yes, that sounds amazing. So next, let us hear from Aditi.
Thank you, Kari-san. Yes, absolutely. So just briefly about where I work and our activities for promoting circularity, the International Solid Waste Association, or ISWA that we like to call it, is a global independent and non-profit association. It's a unique global network comprising of individuals and organizations from all over the world working in the field or interested in waste and resource management. And our mission is to promote and develop sustainable and professional waste management worldwide, while also promoting a transition to a circular economy. And to achieve this vision of a cleaner and healthier planet, we share knowledge and best practices with decision makers and also those who influence policy at local, regional, and national levels. And how we do this is we do this through our projects and initiatives. So just to give you a few examples, we have an initiative for mayors and municipalities where we are recognizing that successful cities cannot exist without smart and well-funded waste management. And as you know, the world is becoming increasingly urban. A lot of people are moving into cities across the globe. And so we work to raise awareness on the concepts of best practices of sustainable waste management, as well as sustainable production and consumption, which is SDG12. So this was just at the policy level. On the ground level, we have projects working to reduce marine plastics pollution and also on stopping open dumping and burning of waste by assisting municipalities to move towards integrated sustainable waste management. And another example that I really love is some years ago, we started an ISWA scholarship program where we're supporting children working and living on open dump sites to give them education. And so the program currently has already transformed many lives and supports over 60 children in areas next to dump sites and in countries like Nicaragua, India, and so on. And the aims of the program are to remove these children informally working at dump sites, to provide them an education and materials and conditions so that they can actually become successful and self-sustainable, so they don't have to repeat the system, the cycles that their parents have been in. And finally, just in order to disseminate current and relevant information on sustainable waste management, we produce a wide range of literature, including reports and key issue papers and so on. So we have a three-pronged approach to dealing with sustainability and circularity. Thank you, Akari-san.
Thank you so much, Aditi.
Well, so on the daily life, what I'm doing related to the environmental issue is, for example, so I try not to include the waste, which is very important to me. For example, for one thing, I have my bottle, because when I go to the coffee shops, actually so I utilize my bottle And as for the wrap, so I have, let's say, the beeswax wraps. So I don't utilize, say, that the plastic bags. You can see this actually, the clothes is going to be a recycled one. And they say that color is going to be utilized for avocado. And for in terms of the waste, I can actually put on, say, that the bag. That's going to be referred to, say, that soils. And then, so that clothes and the blankets is going to be donated to that organizations. And then I have actually made a mask.
That is amazing, Risako. Thank you so much for sharing. So what do you think, Mr. Kosaka?
Yes, speaking of the environmental issues, I think in Japan, so that say that the highly say that awareness, because that say that the high sensitive about say that the environmental issue is going to be focusing upon this idea. But I think most of the people don't think that's their own problem. But I think that I think I am the producer of the Picotalo, so that is also related to the SDGs ambassador, and then of course the promotional advisors as well. And then back in those days, and in 2021, definitely the situation has been changed because that the environmental issues is not for that quite limited person, because that the people get to know that that the knowledge better. What is the most important thing is, so I'm a comedian in Japan. The Picotalo is a single songwriter. You can see that the faces are different between us. But under the circumstances that we have to just tackle with the SDGs and the environmental issues, that's going to be eco-friendly. It's going to be the gentle to the globe. So sometimes that is not unreal. I think that human beings cannot destroy the planet. But I think that right now, that the environment, which is going to be very important to a human being, is going to be destroying. That's the reason why we should, I think, that this issue is our issues. And then, so I have a kids in my families. And then you can see that the package is for everything. So we try not to purchase this kind of things. We try to actually, a bigger portions, and then to utilize them in terms of the waste. As that Risako mentioned, that of course we can actually utilize our waste for the fertilizer in the future. I have such a kind of sensitiveness to do that. So I went to the interview in Thailand to actually report about that disposal factory in Thailand, and then so we should change that. We can see and we can eyewitness and we can have a talk and discuss. And that's my work because I'm in the internet. I'm doing the business in the internet, in the televisions. And then so I think the number of sharing such a kind of information with the other is increasing. And it is a very good type of the looping, I think.
Both at organizational and individual level, we can contribute to make sure this flow of resource circulation is going. In fact, there are many things that we are already doing in our daily lives. So Mr. Kosaka, you have been participating in SDG promotion activities. Do you think that Japanese society's interest in the environment, such as resource circulation, has been increasing over the past few years?
Yes, I think so. It's not drastic change at this moment of time, but I think this kind of things changes quite slowly. Even though it changes so slowly, but I think we need to have the full-fledged determination to try to make it change. Otherwise, we cannot change that. So that the people, so I think, tended to have deliver the good message to others with the very real words. So as the Risako mentioned, that she has brought the my bottles. And then I think right now, so that we have the very good mindset that is that those who have the environmental awareness is going to be cool, is fashionable. So I think it's going to be the fashion and trend and the fast. That's going to be okay. But I think that first of all, they need to pay interest in these issues. For example, my clothes is like recycled materials. And then if that is considered as a cool and fashionable, especially among the younger generation, I think that's good. Maybe in, let's say, the 50 years after, I will not be here anymore. But I think that at least my kids can actually embracing such a kind of say that the good environment, in particular that the younger generation have that say the high interest in the environmental issues.
It is amazing to hear that young generation is changing about this crisis. So it's been 6 years since the SDGs were adopted by UN General Assembly in 2015. Many countries have made various efforts, especially on climate change, including the adaptation of Paris Agreement. However, it is said that combat the current climate crisis, considering the theme of this event, inspire, mobilize, and connect, what kind of actions are we required to take in the future? Let's hear from Honda.
Yes, Akari, thank you. So also, this is quite an important point. For example, while the United Nations Environment Program, so UNEP, is waving the flag of SDGs. So UNEP, International Environment Technical Center, what we work for, has been working together with key players under our new initiative, the UNEP Sustainability Actions. And who are the key players of our initiative? So we do work with the 7&I Holdings, First Retailing, and Asmall with Rakuten. So they have been actively working for sustainability. So we are connected as one team to promote sustainability by highlighting global environment issues and resource efficiencies. So for example, think of your daily lives. You shop at 7-Eleven, Uniqlo, and or at Asmall with Rakuten and choose some environmentally friendly products. That is already a great contribution to protect our planet. So we are hoping that the existing, our initiative, the UNEP Sustainability Action, will not only inspire, mobilize, and connect the UN private sectors and governments, and also inspire, mobilize, connect each and everyone to take actions to save the earth in everyday lives. So let's work together for our futures. Over to Akari. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's hear from Josephine.
Thank you, Akari-san. Usually I would say that no man is an island. Every one of us, we all have a role to play in ensuring we do not pass. As Kosaka-san said, we do not pass the world beyond, repair to our children, our future generations. So it's never too late to start from now. All of us knows that UN SDGs has been guiding us to a new and sustainable way of living that are comfortable for everybody, right? For all the humans now, and it will promise a future generations for our kids. So to do so, I will encourage all of us to start at least from ourselves first. Like for example, our teammates Risako-san mentioned that she has some small little bit, she brings her own bag, and that, it is a very good example that you can start from yourself. Even let's say, for example, you can bring along your bags following Risako-san for that, right? When doing shopping times, and then you can bring your own containers when during takeaways time, right? And then although this seems like a very small initiative, but you might able to save the Mother Earth. So, and another thing is, well, just now I mentioned we have to differentiate between needs and wants. So be a smart consumer that Honda-san just now mentioned. We have to, maybe we can go for the options for brands that products that responsibly harvested, packaged with no single-use plastic, for example, or locally produced to support our local market. That could be another way or another opportunities for us to do. So I would just believe that changing our own lifestyle and our consumption patterns can be effectively contribute in reducing the waste. So leading by practicing a zero or low waste during our daily life, right, will contribute a lot for that. So in terms of recycling, I think we have to learn from Japan, especially because Japan has a very good waste segregation at source, right? All of you, it was amazed me that first time when I visit Japan, you all can segregate into a lot of different waste streams. So this is what I brought it back and implement in Penang, in Malaysia too. So yeah, this is a very good green initiative and green practice that we can learn from other countries. So yeah, try to adopt your trash is my treasure concept, right? And then we have to believe that there is no waste until we wasted it. So yeah, so let's take the ownership to take care of our environment because we share the same sunlight, right? We are also sharing the same passion and commitment to take care of our Mother Earth. Thank you, Akari.
Thank you so much. I love how you said there's no waste until we waste it. That makes sense. And that's why we are trying to, take this action. So what do you think, Aditi? What kind of thoughts you have for this topic?
Thank you very much, Akari. And I just would actually like to go back. I mean, it's not waste till you waste it. So it's not waste till you actually think it's waste. So we've heard of some very great examples that are being taken. And I would like to add a few points about actions that we can take as individuals. So ultimately, we need to reduce our fossil fuel consumption in order to decarbonize our society. And so when it comes to day-to-day consumption, our choices are very nuanced. We really need to start thinking about our consumption levels and about prevention in the first place. And this applies to all aspects of our life, whether it's reducing buying new clothes or using secondhand clothes, buying just enough food that we will actually consume. Otherwise, there's going to be food waste generated, or moving to a more plant-based diet, etc. And so coming to plastics, we hear a lot about plastics all around, in the oceans and so on. So trying to recycle them is fine, but the reality is that only a small percentage of recycled plastic actually gets recycled. So, so it's best to use as little as possible in the first place. Other individual actions could include, for instance, buying paper products that companies have already committed to limiting deforestation, whenever and wherever possible, walking or taking public transportation. We can also try to decarbonize our assets, obviously looking at prevention as the first step. And I quickly also want to say that we should know that every action counts, even seemingly small steps like separating waste at source, managing organic food waste at home through composting and other kind of things, taking the trash out at the right time, dropping it off at the right location, using recyclables, keeping in mind your reduce, reuse, recycle philosophy, which I know that Japan already does really well. So we're learning from examples from around the world, and these can make all the difference. And additionally, and also very importantly, we could engage with the local community to raise further awareness, to cultivate a feeling of citizenship, that we're all in this together and we can make a difference. So we could play an active role in the local community, as we all have a responsibility to stay informed and demand that decision makers take action. And just finally, we also need to remember that as individual consumers, we're very powerful and that our choices have an impact. So collectively, small actions on a large scale can have an enormous impact. And so we should remember that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aditi. So Mr. Kosaka, what do you think about this topic?
So that the SDGs, the 17 targets and 163 sub-targets or sub-domains. When we pick environment, it's one domain, it is hard to hit the target because, as I said at the beginning, in Thailand, I visited Thailand, there is the waste island. It is full of the waste. So that island is made of waste. And I went there to see that how many waste coming from Japan in Thailand, because that we are so pleased that there is no waste treatment place, because that our incinerators capabilities are so high in Japan. However, that's the way I learned that our waste are exported to China or other countries, meaning that we are paying to export waste, so that it is forbidden in China to import the waste, so that the waste went to Thailand. So that I went there, and that from end to end, everywhere, as long as you can see that there is a waste, and the very dirty the spring is coming out from on the ground, and it is a terrible smell. So it's full of the odor, even though that I was wearing the mask. It is terrible. And the kids are playing around. They are throwing out, pitching out the waste. So in order to clean one country, that's the waste, the other countries get dirty and become full of the waste. And the waste is hazard. And that is the tremendous toxicity to the body. So if you continue to live that is and that is the part of the poverty issues. So that's the people in poverty, a dire situation, is trying to sort out some of the scarce metals out of the water. So in the 15 years, it's a horizon. It is so hard to hit target. So that what I'm thinking is that we need to just start to explode to the rockets and started the launch pad. So that listening to today's talk and looking at the several countries, studying the different areas, so that when you look at the Mother Earth, so it does not make sense that thinking about the waste, local waste, we should have the global perspective. So if we are the global citizens in the next 100 years, that we will regain the beautiful Mother Earth. So that 3, 2, 1, 0. It's like the launching the missile or the satellite.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. That is amazing to hear what you've been going through. And this is something that not everyone can experience. So it's amazing that you're sharing those experiences so that we can take actions for what you saw. So what do you think about this, Risako? What kind of things that you think you can share about this topic?
Thank you very much for sharing. So before coming to this conversation, I did not know so many problems and deep problems exist on Earth. As Mr. Hosaka says, that the kids of my generation are interested in the world around them and got interested in the environmental issues. So that I learned that the cleaning our society, meaning that making the other society dirty. So, but I did not know that. But listening to that environmental issues, and we understand that the value of the environment protection. But I realized that we are sort of naive. So that we really need to solve this issue on a global basis. So in Japan, producing the apparel, sewing our clothes by ourselves, and bringing the private, personal use thermal bottle, so that we tried to make by myself. So that making the private use thermal bottle that requires the energy that is producing that 5,000 PET bottles. So that energy intensive. So that that young kids are interested in environmental protection, but some of the initiatives increase energy level, so that or energy consumption. So that we have to learn more about the environment, and the environmental issue is not only in our community, it is a global issue. So that we have to have the broader perspectives, like donating clothes, and I have to learn more.
Thank you so much. That's amazing to hear what you're thinking about this topic. So we would love to hear more from the speakers, but unfortunately we're running out of time. So Mr. Kosaka, could you please share your final message on behalf of all the speakers?
On the behalf of all the speakers, I'd like to have a few words. I'm a comedian. I have been a comedian for 30 years. I have done a lot of tasks, a lot of jobs up until now. One of them is Picotalo. So we see that it's quite popular all across the world. So I had a lot of experience along with the Picotalo's experience. And then actually, this is the first time to have that this kind of session by connecting with the people all across the world. I think this is about the important point. To connecting together from all across the world, it's so difficult. So you can see that thanks to the Picotalo, so that was a great driver to know all across the world. I know through here in Japan, so some places will be the conflict and the civil war, some others and other issues. That's the reason why it's very difficult to connect together from all across the world. But I think this is a chance, so we should not miss the chance. So I think when I try to make the best, sometimes it might fail. So that's the reason why. So we need to connect together. We try to come up with a good idea, one by one, little by little, and then for the achievement of the visions and missions. And then every speaker I think every speaker speaks very well. So I think I'd like to have the opportunity to be this kind of session once again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kosaka. And thank you very much, everyone, for sharing your amazing experience and your thoughts about this topic. As Mr. Kosaka said, this is a topic that we always have to think about from now on. So thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching, make sure to join the conversation with the hashtag #TurnItAround. And thank you so much for watching.